Hey folks, Benjamin Wittes here with a little preview of some changes we have coming to this feed starting tomorrow. The Lawfare Podcast feed is going to look and feel a little different. As you know, the Lawfare Podcast, Rational Security, and Chatter are already all available on the Lawfare Podcast feed. Our daily podcast within the feed will be renamed Lawfare Daily to distinguish the daily product from the larger feed. We're also going to be adding some new important content to the feed as well, starting with opening statements in the New York State Court trial against Donald Trump. Tomorrow, Anna Bauer and I, with contributions from Tyler McBrien and others as well, will discuss the events of the day on a short live stream each day, which you will be able to find on our YouTube channel. But these live streams will also be edited and released as podcasts on the Lawfare Podcasts feed. These will be called Trump Trials and Tribulations New York Trial Dispatch. Proceedings in the New York case are expected to occur on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. To accommodate this schedule, our weekly Trump Trials and Tribulations live stream will move to Wednesday afternoons when court is not in session. In addition to a short overview of the previous week's proceedings in the New York case, we will continue to bring you updates and discussions of the cases in Florida, Fulton County, and Washington, D.C. We will announce the exact time for these weekly roundups as early as possible, and as always, our material supporters will be able to join the discussion live on Riverside and ask questions. Importantly, we will not be able to have live questions on the daily podcasts as we aim to keep the New York trial dispatches brief and informative. If you're not able to join the live stream of Trump Trials and Tribulations weekly roundup, you'll be able to find that anytime, as always, on our YouTube channel. A podcast version will also be available in the Lawfare Podcast feed on Thursdays. So in other words, what we now call the Lawfare Podcast is going to become Lawfare Daily, and we are going to have Trump Trials and Tribulations weekly roundup on Thursdays and daily Trump Trials dispatches in the evenings on this feed as well. Finally, as part of this consolidation and reformatting, we are at long last retiring Sophia Yan's beautiful performance of piano music of Robert Schumann as the opening and closing of the Lawfare Podcast. I love this recording very dearly. When I started the podcast years and years ago, I needed some music for the opening, so I plunked a little pocket digital recorder on the piano in my parents' living room, and I asked Sophia to play a bit of Chopin. That was our first music, and when we needed new music in 2013, Sophia sent me her performance of the Schumann that has graced the podcast ever since. Sophia's playing has appeared on each of the nearly 2,000 episodes of the podcast since 2012, and her performance of Astor Piazzolla will continue to appear on Rational Security. Sophia is the only person whose work has appeared on every single episode of the Lawfare Podcast, and she is, to my knowledge at least, the only journalist in the world who has both reported at great personal risk on China's Uyghur concentration camps in Xinjiang and performed Schumann on a podcast in which she discusses that work. So a big shout out of thanks to Sophia for all she has done for our listeners and for Lawfare.